Hey everybody. Wait, that's not how we do this. We do this. Welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is a podcast. It's commentary. A man out of quarters. I am currently looking up my own website to see what number episode this is because I don't even know. I've got my trusty notebook here as I scroll, trying to find something that tells me what episode this is. I believe this is episode number 241. We're going to call this episode 241. Thanks for listening. Coming to you tonight, not live from Toulouse, France, in the south of France. It is Tuesday night, March 13th, 2018, and here we are. So I was leaving my apartment early this morning in Amsterdam, and I was packed and pretty much ready to go and had to get to the airport. Had a dumb connection through Paris today. I couldn't just fly straight to Toulouse because I bought this ticket really late. It was going to be super expensive if I didn't stop in Paris. So this day took a lot longer than it should have. But anyway, as I was walking out the door of my office and then heading out into the main hallway to actually leave the apartment, I glanced back, and sitting on top of a crate full of miscellaneous cameras and cables and microphones and guitar stomp boxes and effects and stuff like that, I saw a headset microphone, a USB headset microphone with the cord wrapped around it, all just sitting there lonely and unused and sad. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm going to have some time in a hotel tonight in Toulouse. I should try and do a podcast. So here we are. I hope everyone's doing well out there across the world. I'm doing great. Things are good. Things are busy. It's been a first quarter so far of the year. Been back and forth to the United States a couple times, I think, since we last spoke. Been to Sweden and the UK and Germany, and I don't know. Anyway, we're in France tonight. We have me and the rep who handles France for us. He and I will meet tomorrow at a store here in Toulouse, actually two stores, and then he and I will drive to Bilbao, Spain, and do some more guitar business there. And then I'll fly back on Thursday to Amsterdam and keep on keeping on. So I wanted to get a show out because, I was going to try and do one a month, and it just hasn't happened. But here we are tonight in this very small hotel room. This hotel room is cozy. One entire wall is like a mural of what looks to be a Asian woman's face. I can't tell exactly because it's done in like leather patchwork stitching. I wish I could show you this. It's actually pretty beautiful. But it's like her face just over and over and over again, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 12 times across this whole wall. And then this little small room that I'm setting up shop in tonight. But the view out of this room is beautiful, by the way. Like, there's a bridge and a river and some lights and a lot of French people out there. And anyway, so hi, how's it going? So I have 5 fast thoughts tonight for you. I'm recording this on the B machine, on the work computer, if you will, the computer that doesn't have my fancy recording software and all my sound drops and music and all of that good stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a bare bones episode. We've done this before. I think it'll work. I'm not going to be able to do much editing. But here's some 5 fast thoughts. These are not pinball related, by the way. I don't think. Maybe one of them is. 5 fast thoughts coming from me. And if you want straight pinball talk only, this may not be your show. Tonight, at least. The security at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. It's either the best security in the world or it's the worst security in the world. I'm not sure which. No matter what I do. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm an experienced traveler. I am both gold tier with KLM Air France Airlines, which means I flew at least 30 flights last year with them. And I'm also executive platinum with American Airlines, which means I flew 100,000 miles with them last year, plus a bunch of random flights on airlines that didn't count towards any of that. I fly a lot. I know what security at airports expect of me. I know what they're looking for. I cannot crack the code that is Schiphol, because 2 out of 3 times I get a bag pushed into secondary screening. I no rhyme or reason. I had a really great argument last year about whether or not my solid deodorant was a solid or a liquid. Literally, the woman opened it up, and it was a stick, like a stick deodorant, like we have in the United States. Not as common here in Europe, but where you twist the bottom and it goes up high. It's like sort of translucent deodorant. The antiperspirant style would be a white brick. This was more of like a clear brown brick. I don't know. So some vanilla-y smelling thing. It's amazing smelling, trust me. She literally opened it and said, "This is a liquid." And I'm like, "No, that's a solid." And she goes, No, this is a liquid." And I'm like arguing with this woman. And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what science class you took here in the Netherlands, but where I come from, that's a solid." And so, and she's like, "Well, it's a gel." And I'm like, "You might get closer with gel, but still, I no, that's a solid." Because she's telling me I need to always take this out. And this is like the third time it had happened. And I was like, "I'm not going to take this out. It's a solid." And so she turned to her supervisor and she like held it up and said something in Dutch that I didn't understand. And he like shook his head really slightly at her as if not to totally like make her look bad in front of me, but kind of like telling her she's wrong. And she just put it back in my toiletry bag and like pushed my stuff away and like motioned for me to move on. And I'm like, "I told you it wasn't a liquid." And of course, that's me. I'm that guy. I'm the jerk that's ruining the poor woman's life who's just trying to do her job and make sure everything's safe. But come on. So today, I always pull my liquids out. I'm not stupid. I pull my iPad, my computer. I carry 2 phones. I'm one of those annoying people right now. 2 phones. I got a Dutch phone and an American phone. Put them all separately. I take my belt. I do everything right. And they still pull one of my bags off for screening. And I'm like, what on earth? And so he's like, "Can you please open this?" I'm like, "Sure." He goes, "You left liquids in here." I'm like, "I did not leave liquids in here." And I'm very, I can be like kind of a jerk about it because like, I know. This has become a thing. And he's like, "There's liquids in here." And he's, very in my face about it. I'm like, "Okay, great. Show me the liquid." And he pulls out like a little plastic container of chewing gum. And he rattles it. And you hear like the shaking rattle. I think, where is it? Hold on. I have it right here. I can do this. Somewhere. I'm dragging. Oh, I don't have it in this bag. So anyway, he rattled the gum thing. It was gum. And then he opened it and looked. And I'm like, "See? No liquid." And he's like, "Oh, well, this looked like a liquid." And I'm like, "It's not a liquid." So anyway, every single time I deal with Schiphol Airport. One time they told me, "You always have to take your phone chargers out." And I'm like, "I do? I've never done that before, ever." But the one time, that's what it was. So anyway, best or worst security, I don't know. Fast thought number 2. The dentists in the Netherlands. They warned me when I got here. The people I work with, when I first said, "Oh yeah, I got to go to the dentist. I haven't had a checkup since I moved here." This was like, 8 months ago. And they're like, "Oh, be careful. They don't use Novocaine here." I'm like, don't worry. It's all good. Ha ha, funny. They don't use Novocaine. So I got there, and sure enough, I had a filling loose. And they're like, "Well, we can fix it right now." And I'm like, "Sure, let's fix it right now. I like that." And she goes to fix it and just starts like drilling. And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And she's like, What? I'm like, "Yeah, that hurts." She goes, Yeah, it hurts." I'm like, "Well, no, but like, I can feel all that." She goes, "Yeah, it's going to hurt for a little bit." And I'm like, "Well, don't you numb it up?" And she like put her tools like down by her side and like looked at me and she goes, "You want me to shoot you up for that?" Her English wasn't her first language. And I'm like, "Well, it hurts." And she's like, "But just for a little bit." And I'm like, okay. And she goes, "It'll be fine." And she just proceeds to redo this filling with no injection, no numbing, no nothing. And my heart started pounding. I was like, "Oh God, what am I doing?" I'm not like one of those people who's like deathly afraid of the dentist, but I still don't like it. It's not like my favorite thing to do. And for about 5 seconds, I was like, "Oh gosh, what did I do? This is horrible." And then it was done. And she was really fast. And it was real smooth. It was like a good refilling. Filling was good. And I was like, "Oh." And she's like, "See, now your mouth isn't numb." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And so I've been back for 2 other things since then. I had another filling that had to be redone, and then I had a new cavity. I had a cavity, almost 40 years old, a freaking cavity. So I had a cavity in my back tooth, and no Novocaine. It's crazy. It hurts, but it only hurts for a little bit. So now I have this internal conversation, like, and I've switched dentists also, by the way. And my new dentist is actually pretty cool and deals with a lot of expats like me. And she was like, "Look, I'll give you the Novocaine anytime you want. Just tell me." She's like, "But really, it's just gonna hurt for a second or two, and then you're out of here." And so I'm kind of in this weird internal conversation of like, can I just deal with like 3 to 5 seconds, like realistically 3 to 5 seconds of that really horrible deep tooth pain, and then just walk out of the dentist and be like pretty good, like maybe a little sore, but mostly good? Or do I want to go ahead and get shots with needles, which I don't like that either. It's like, I know it's supposed to numb you, but you still feel the needle. That hurts, and your face is all numb, and you got that cold, like, dead feeling, and you're drooling all over yourself, and you bite your tongue for, like, to save 3 to 5. I don't know. It's a whole thing. They don't like to use Novocaine. Anyway, fast on number 3. I go to the grocery store a lot. A lot. Like, people make fun of me because they're always like, so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to the grocery store. They're like, you go to the grocery store every day? I'm like, not every day, but like a lot of days. I've been... So as I've not been podcasting, and I've not been, like, owning pinball machines and playing pinball, and I don't have a band anymore. I used to have a band. I've been, like working out, like, which doesn't sound fun or exciting at all when I say it out loud like that, but I've been enjoying it. I've been, like, working out, trying to get in better shape, and just, 40's coming. It's down. I can see 40. That big 40's down there. I don't really care. Except that I do, and I want to be in better shape. I don't want to get to 40. Here's my whole thing. I don't want to get to 40, and I heard somebody say this about a year ago, and it's stuck with me. Somebody I know hit 40, and he's like, man, I'm 40. I'm going to make sure by 41 I'm in great shape. And I was like, you know what? When I get to 40, I want to be in great shape. No, I may not be in great shape, but just better shape. So I've been, like, working out, and I tried to lose a little weight, and, eat a little less, and then work out, and I got to eat a little more, and I need more, like, I'm going to tell you a secret. I know you're not on this podcast to hear weight loss tips, but I'm going to tell you this. In my lifetime, on a couple separate occasions, I have lost at least 10% of my body weight, okay? So if I weighed 200 pounds, I lost at least 20 pounds. So 10% or more of my body weight. I think I've done it 4 times now, I think. 4 times I've done this. During that weight loss period, I did 0 push-ups. I did 0 sit-ups. I ran 0 steps. I did 0 extra exercise. And some of you know this, and some of you are saying, yeah, duh. But I'm telling you, exercise doesn't help you lose weight. I mean, I guess it could help you technically, but in my world, exercise has never helped me lose weight. I just got to eat less. And that's hard because I really like food. I really like food. And it's incredibly hard because I'm also like an award eater. Like, I do something good, like I take out the trash, and I'm like, I deserve a piece of carrot cake because I took out the trash. Or, I don't know, I get up early on a Sunday. I'm like, I should eat. I'm up early, food. So I like to do that. But I'm telling you, the way you lose weight is you just got to eat less. It's a harsh reality for someone who loves food. So I've been doing that, but now I'm working out and actually have to eat more because it makes me feel crazy if not. But the secret, here's the secret. The secret to me losing weight, this won't work for everybody, and some of you think I'm nuts. Lots and lots and lots of Diet Coke. Okay? Hear me out. Every time I get hungry, every time I think, man, I really would like a white Kit Kat right now because white Kit Kats are awesome, or oh, I would really like some Haribo gummy bears right now because Haribo, whatever, gummy bears are really amazing. Actually, what I really want is I want some all-red Sour Patch Kids, but they don't sell them here. Every time I think that, or every time I think I could really eat half a pizza right now, drink a Diet Coke. See, I really like Diet Coke, so I just drink a Diet Coke. It's sweet, it's crisp, it's refreshing, it's filling, it's fizzy, and I walk away. And that is how I have lost more than 10%. Results may vary, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm just telling you, if you're in the market to lose some weight, drink a lot of Diet Coke and count every calorie you eat. That's the dark side of what I do. I literally have counted every calorie. It's tedious. Anyway, fast thought number 4. Morocco. I went to Morocco. I went to Africa. It was my first time in Africa, Northern Africa, the country of Morocco, or Morocco, as they say it. I don't know why in English we call places different things. Like Spain is España, really, but we call it Spain, and Morocco is Morocco. We call it Morocco. That's fine. So, went to Morocco. Teresa and I went. We had a vacation there. It was wild and old. Things are old there. It's very different. I've been to a lot of places in the world, and man, it was different. Yeah, we went out to the desert, to Zagora, like down near the Algerian border, and we slept in a tent in the Saharan desert. We rode a camel and slept in a tent. And at 9 p.m. on that night that we were out in the desert, we were around a campfire in this camp with all these Italian people who didn't speak very much English, and then the African like camping guys, and we had a tour guide with us who was there, really, really sweet guy. And they brought out African style like hand drums, and they sang songs and played African hand drums around a campfire underneath the stars, and there were no artificial lights out there except for the little tiny ones they have hung in these little tents that run off a generator somewhere. And it was pretty amazing. It was one of those trips. So just letting you know. And it was not an expensive trip. That's my moral of the story. Morocco was very affordable as far as, foreign exotic destinations go. It was really a fantastic trip. I would recommend to anybody. Just know what you're getting into, because you get to Marrakesh and it's intense. Fast on number 5. Bringing it all back around, right? I really miss being deep into the pinball thing. I really do miss it. I'm not deep into it right now. It's why I'm not doing shows. I just feel like such a fraud if I get on here and trumpet myself as some in the know guy about pinball when I'm not really in the know. I love pinball. I do love it. I have a passion for it. I played pinball for 3.5 hours on this past Saturday down at the Tauntaun Club in Amsterdam, and I tell you, I miss it so bad. I miss having the games at home so that I can just relieve stress at the end of the day and play whenever I want. My position at Taylor Guitars is pretty mentally taxing, and it keeps me from going out sometimes and doing things and being a part of any scene or community. But I really would like to have the games at home to use it as my buffer back into real life of sorts. So I do really miss it. I keep up with what's going on generally. I don't dive deep into Pinside and the forums much like I used to. I try and read the really big topics and get going on it. But anyway, I really miss it. And so I've had some amazing emails in the past, just past month or two. And this show's going to kind of base around those emails because it's inspiring. And man, every time I look down at my phone and I see your Facebook page, Coast to Coast Pinball, has 3 new likes today. I'm like, man, people are still just finding this, and it's cool because pinball's still growing, it's still getting bigger, and it's awesome. And I really miss being more centered in it right now. But just life is what it is, and sometimes you can do that, and sometimes you can't. And right now I still will throw this out there, and I hope you enjoy hearing me blab on a little bit. I need a drink of water, and I don't know if I can pause this or not. I'm going to try and pause. Hold on. All right, I think I did that successfully. Yes, the meters are going. We're still recording. All is well. Okay, so I've got all these emails starred in my inbox here, which you can write to at coast2coastpinball@gmail.com. It's coast, the number 2, coast, pinball@gmail.com if you'd like to write an email. This one is the top starred one I have here. Hey Nate, I missed the show, and I know you're busy on your European adventure, but thought maybe if I gave you a list of topics or show inspiration notes, if you will, you could more easily bring C2C back to my podcast player. So I hope you don't mind. Here are some suggested topics. You know what? Maybe I do mind. Maybe I think that's offensive, that you think you're just going to send me some notes and well, actually, I'm kind of liking this idea. I don't have to do any research, so never mind. I retract. I'm just kidding. Here we go. All right. What pinball have you been playing? Do you have any games at home yet? What is your favorite game of the moment? Well, I have been playing. I play wherever I can find games, mostly in Amsterdam, mostly on the weekends right now. There is a NBA Fast Break that's really close to me that I go play in the evening sometimes, but I have a love-hate relationship with that game. So this weekend specifically, I spent time at the Tauntaun Club, where I often play their games. They have a nice selection of kind of older games and then modern Sterns, Walking Dead, Star Trek, CSI, and they now have an Indiana Jones, a Williams Indiana Jones there, which also a game I've had love-hate relationship with, and that's the game I've been playing a bunch because I've never really dove too deep into that game, and I've been really trying to get better and learn the shots and feel competent when I'm shooting the scoop to start the modes and yada yada. It's a cooler game than I probably ever gave it credit for, especially when you're a little starved for pinball. It's a lot to look at. It's a cool package, and I have been really enjoying that. They have an Addams Family there, so I always throw a couple euros in the Addams Family game just to, try my luck. But, man, the scoop feed was brutal this weekend. It was this weird, floaty feed where if you didn't, time it just right, you were going to bounced the ball right down the middle. It was just rough, so it was kind of frustrating. But anyway, I did put up the third high score on Walking Dead, which made me happy. I thought back to my Pinball with the Pros lessons from Lyman Sheets, and I got my bloodbath going and kind of rocked it. Dude that worked there was playing next to me, and he was like looking at me like he was impressed, and that makes me happy because I don't do that very often. So that was good stuff. So no, I don't have any games at home yet. I'm still in this apartment with. Oh my gosh! So I might have told this on one of the other shows or not, but the lady that lives below me, she complained last summer about the fan in my bedroom being too loud. She said it was vibrating the whole building. It's like just a fan, just a normal fan. It wasn't up real high or anything. So I stopped using that, and I have a white noise machine in the bedroom because Teresa likes it. She complained about that too, and I just finally told her, I said, look, I don't have to tell you. The people who are above us have little kids, and they're way louder than we are, so we need noise in the bedroom or we can't sleep. So sorry. And she doesn't talk to me anymore, so whatever. So no, the thought of a pinball machine in my apartment, it just couldn't happen, unfortunately. So I might move. My lease is up at the end of May, and I'm thinking about it. It's my favorite game at the moment. That's tough. I'm probably still really, really badly wanting a Walking Dead. I still feel like that game and I have some unsettled battles ahead in my lifetime. You know, maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. Favorite game? It's hard to answer. Thoughts on Houdini? That's an interesting one. I actually text messaged somebody like a month ago when I thought I was about to record a show and said, so I guess I need to start addressing Houdini because Houdini was starting to ship and it was out there more. And yeah, I actually have notes, pages back in my notebook here of a show I never did. You know, American Pinball and Joe Balser and Josh Kugler and that whole team put together a really good looking game. I've heard mixed reviews on how the thing plays, how the thing shoots. I've not had my hands on it, so I don't know. I've had some people email me and say straight up they love it, they think it's amazing, they're going to own one, and I've had people whose opinions I really respect say, no, don't get it, don't see it. So that's going to be one of those I need to play at some point and kind of make my own decision there. It looks really good. It's a good looking game. And you think back to like where this hobby and business was like 4 years ago. If they released that thing 4 years ago, they could have sold like, you know, I don't know, probably like 16 of them for like $16,000 each at least, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I hate to comment too much on something I've never touched. It's not really fair. I've sort of instituted I don't want to talk about vaporware on any show or thing I do because I don't want people putting money down for something that doesn't exist yet. But I guess this game does exist, so I have no problem addressing it. I think they've only shipped like less than 50 games, so it's slow going because building pinball is difficult. And one of the first, I think they built it without a whitewood was one of the big takeaways I had from reading the whole story, which was also very interesting. Maybe that could play into some shot problems. Maybe that's why some people that I've talked to said they don't like the way it feels. I don't know. Just saying. Just throwing that out there for you. Whitewoods are a good thing. So that's really all the thoughts I got for Houdini. Record sellout for Pinburg. Should it be a bigger tournament? Multi-days? Lottery? Are you going? Bunch of question marks in there. So yeah, Pinburg sold out in like 45 seconds. Let me tell you a little story about Pinburg. Not to rile anybody up, but I will. I had my alarm set. It was supposed to go on sale for me at like 2 p.m., I believe. Does that sound right? Is that timing right? No, it would have been 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Central Europe time. And so I had alarm set. I was all ready to go. I was going to buy my Pinburg entry, good to go. And it was the day I was flying to Morocco. So no problem. I will be able to do that. I will already be in Morocco, blah, 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 blah. And our flight got really, really delayed. Like, big time delayed. Like, they loaded us all on the airplane in Amsterdam and then unloaded all of us because apparently there's a power outage that day at Schiphol. It's all over the news. Power went out and it screwed up the baggage system, so they didn't know where certain bags had gone or where it was just a big mess. And we ended up having I think a 3.5 hour delay. So instead of me landing in Morocco, we flew to the city of Fez in Morocco. Instead of me landing at Fez and being at my hotel with Wi-Fi well in time for that 5 p.m. On sale time, I was going to be in the middle of my flight. So I panicked and I quickly messaged a good friend and said, hey, I'm not going to be available to buy tickets. Can you possibly buy me a ticket? And I didn't even know if that was possible. I didn't know if it was allowed. I didn't know if you could buy multiple tickets. I just threw it out there, and he said, yeah, I think that's no problem. I can do it. I can get that for you. So he ended up scoring me my ticket as well, which turned out to be a problem for some people because the thing sold out so fast. The demand is huge for this. Some people were upset that one person could buy, I think, up to 5 entries. And I saw the argument of you really should have to buy your own ticket, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I probably would. I could see how I could get to that feeling myself, I guess. As someone who's paid ridiculous amounts to go to concerts that I really wanted to go to because they sold out really fast, I guess I've just been through all this before and I kind of know what it's like. So yeah, I'm going. Should it be bigger? I think Doug and Mark and Bowen and those guys have said some pretty insightful stuff on internet forums about the can we make Pinburg bigger situation. I don't think it's that easy. I think it's difficult. I think you start getting to a point where it's just so big that the fact that it's run as smoothly as it has is just a testament to the not just hard work, because I think it's more than hard work. Because I've been to tournaments and I've been to events and trade shows and things with lots of hard work, but not really smart work that come out kind of messy, despite best efforts in working hard. But I think very smart work by the people who put on Pinburg and Replay FX to make it run as smooth as it has, because it does run really smooth. I remember so specifically when I first started really getting the pinball bug beyond just going to like the bowling alley and like playing pinball for an hour after work, where I was like, I want to seek out places with lots of games and I want to play games I've never played before. When I really got to that, people started saying to me, hey man, you gotta go to Pinburg. And I'm like, why not Papa? And they're like, no. You gotta go to Pinburg because it's just like all-day social gathering, fun pinball match play. It's so cool. You're going to love it. And then I went to my first one, and yes, I did love it. It was awesome. And so that story's been told as this hobby has gotten bigger, and the social media aspect and the podcast and streaming and Facebook groups aspect of pinball has exploded in the past few years. So it's no surprise that the tournament, the event that is centered around this great social activity where you can beat the best player in the world at any moment in your group, at least for that moment, where little victories can mean a lot. But if you have also the biggest pinball tournament of all time also is happening around you, it's this great like dichotomy of like these little victories and this big massive thing happening at once. It's amazing. It's no surprise that that's the event that's just gotten so big that it can sell at 800 and, I don't even know, 860, 840, whatever it is, 800 and something spots in 45 seconds. So I'm not surprised because it's awesome. And it speaks to a lot of people. I don't know how you couldn't enjoy that. I mean, I guess I do. Your feet hurt because it's tough to stand around, or you don't really like meeting new people, or you don't like the pressure of match play where you're literally playing against each other and it's not just trying to put up high score. I get it. I guess there is a story there where that might not be your thing. However, to I think a lot of people who are around the pinball scene, it is sort of the ultimate in pinball competition and just a pinball celebration and party. And dude, I'm gonna probably play terrible again this year. It's probably gonna happen. It's fine. The average pinball player is just getting better and better, and I don't think I'm getting any better. So I'm still gonna really enjoy it. I'm still gonna have a great time. So yeah, I'm going. Of course I'm going. If I had not gotten a ticket, I'd still be going. I would be going, and I would be riding that wait list and hoping I got through. And if I didn't, there's a lot of fun pinball to be played there, even if you're not in the tournament. Trust me. What else did you say? Should it be bigger? Yeah, I addressed that. Lottery. Should we do a lottery? I don't know. I don't know if a lottery is much different than the randomness of 2,000 people trying to get on at once. And I don't know. I don't know. So, anyway, can't wait. Cannot wait. What else we got here? How do you feel about Stern and Chicago Gaming deciding not to bring new games to the Texas Pinball Festival? Well, first of all, sorry, I made a big loud noise over here. Texas Pinball Festival is really bumming me out because I was going to that. It was on my calendar. It was locked in. I was going to book a week of work. I was going, and then this trip that I start on Sunday happened. Was scheduled, and so Sunday I'm meeting my boss, one of the owners of the company, and the other director of sales for the company. We're all meeting in Porto, Portugal, and we're spending 10 days working our way across Spain, down through Italy, over to Greece, back up through the top of Italy, and then ending in Amsterdam for a sales meeting with our whole sales team in Europe. Just it lined up bad where I couldn't go to the United States because my U.S. team was coming here. So anyway, I'm bummed out at Texas Pinball Festival. I saw the announcements that those companies were not bringing games. You know what? Good. Smart move. If it's not ready to go, I mean, if you're close and you're stern, I think you go ahead and do it generally, especially if you think you're going to, have a hit on your hands because you want to, scoop up as much of the business and the sales as you can if you're close because the road, the path ahead of you to get to that game. You also know your delays. So if you're stern, you also can see things that could happen to slow you down where you can make that call and say, you know what, we're not quite there. We're working on this and this. We'll get to you in a few weeks, whatever. So I trust Stern's judgment there. I think they're probably making the right choice either way. If you're Chicago Gaming, I think Attack from Mars Remake has been really successful. And those are not dumb people over there. I think it's been really interesting having conversations about Chicago Gaming. For years, it's been Stern, big, bold, bright neon letters, Stern Pinball. They went from like the last and the only to the biggest, still are the biggest. And then it was next down below that, it was in Jersey Jack. Look at this company out of New Jersey. They've got the Wizard of Oz. And everyone was like, well, okay, so Jack's number 2. And then all the rest, it was like the field after that. I don't think it's like that anymore. In my opinion, it's really, to me, it's Stern and then it's Jack and Chicago Gaming. I think those two take away the fact that one has designed new products based on different IPs and created something a little bit more creative, and one has remade games from the Bally Williams era. However, I think done some really creative stuff now with Attack from Mars. Remake, but I think now you have to look at what both those companies are doing, both in sales volumes and quality and impact on the overall market, and have to start thinking about both of them, in that next tier. I think Spooky Pinball is probably right around there. I think Total Nuclear Annihilation is bringing them up there. I don't know if I'd quite put it up there just because of the limited production that they've had. Really, really interested to see the reveal of Alice Cooper's Haunted Nightmare. I think that what I've seen so far looks pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. But yeah, so if those guys aren't bringing games, there's probably lots of, it could be simple as, hey, we're selling so many AFMRs. Why would we put out another game right now? Or it might be, we're working on something cool for that game, so it's gonna take a little while. I just got an email. I think you guys could hear that alert too. So sorry, I forgot to shut down Outlook. So yeah, what do I think about it? I think it would be great to be at Texas and see all the new games. Texas will be okay without that. Texas has a great lineup of events and speakers and people and awesome. I'm really sorry. Ed asked me to do something for him for their program, and I said I would, and I didn't do it, and I feel like a schlep, and I apologize. Many apologies. So best of luck to everyone out at TPF. We'll be watching very closely. What else we got? Are you paying attention to the Kaneda-Hilton feud? I don't even know what you're talking about. You lost me on the Kaneda-Hilton feud. I know who you're talking about. I know Chris, and I know Hilton. Both of them are insane. Both of them are I actually like both of them in their own way, and both of them are absolutely obnoxious in their own way as well. No, I'm not paying attention to the Kaneda-Hilton feud. Please fill me in. Next, which not expo? I see what you're saying. Which not expo in Chicago should I go to this year? So what he's referencing here is Chicago, the Expo, Pinball Expo, which was the show forever. Pinball Expo, run by Rob Burke and Mike Pasek, is no more. They have split. The partnership has divided. The superpowers have divided. Yada yada. And Rob is starting a competing show called, I believe, Pinball Palooza. I hate that name, but that's what it is. It's Pinball Palooza. And then I think Mike had intended to just keep running the same show, but I think the ownership of the name Expo is up in the air, so he can't do that. So he's going to call it the Chicago Pinball Show by Mike Pasek. I made that up. It's not what he's calling it, but he'll call it something. So that could get ugly because I think, one side saying this replaces Expo and the other side saying no, this still is sort of the old Expo, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be competing for mind share from the companies and from people, and it's tough because I thought that show had really declined. I wouldn't ever say I didn't have fun at that show, but I would definitely say that show was disappointing last time I was there. So maybe this is the start of something good. I don't know that we need 2 shows in that time of year in Chicago, but we certainly should have one. It's Chicago, come on. So which one should you go to? I have no idea. I would just watch closely. You got lots of time. That's all happening in the fall, I believe. All right, finishing up his email, he wrote, anyway, hope that gives you a kickstart. I miss the weekly shows, but understand your priorities with your job. I wish you and Teresa all the best. Maybe we can rematch at Expo or another show someday down the road. I still feel the sting of your Ball 3 comeback on Whitewater 3 years ago. Yeah, you do, Matt. Yeah, you do. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, you do. I remember that very, very clearly. He grabbed me, told me he liked the show, asked if we could play a $1 game. I said, sure, I'll lose $1 to you. And then I took his $1 on Ball 3 and Whitewater in pretty epic fashion. So, yeah. So Matt, thank you. What a cool email, because that did most of the work for me. Let's bump down through here. A couple of these other emails. I thought I had a couple more. Let's see. Hello, Nate. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Didn't have anything to say or ask. I just wanted to have my email starred in your Gmail inbox. Cheers, David. Well, you have accomplished your goal, sir. Oscar wrote, did you get my previous message? If not, email me back. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. What else we got? Hi, I've never listened to a podcast before other than Car Talk podcasts from PBS. Every pinball podcast I tried years ago was either silly somehow or annoying. Or silly or somehow annoying. While doing a search for Clay Harrell, I came across your podcast interview with him and listened to it. It was quite good. That, of course, got me interested in other episodes, and so far I've really enjoyed listening to them. So I started from the beginning and now am on episode 35! I'm enjoying hearing your perspective on things, and I think the show is very well produced thus far. So great job, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the podcasts in my queue. I hope you're still doing them, but I haven't had the guts to look at the dates from the latest episodes to see if they're recent or if you stopped at some point. I see on the Coast2CoastPinball.com website that your entries fall off a few years back, so hopefully you're still doing the podcast. Side note, I fixed that. The website's been fixed. I'm not that good at that sort of thing. He continues. Thanks again for providing the podcast. I'm looking forward to hearing how your Medieval Madness met your expectations, because you just did your $1,000 deposit in the last episode, number 34.5. That was the .5 episode. That's right. I remember that. Thanks again, Pat from Erie, Pennsylvania. Well, Pat, we're still here. He wrote this to me on February 20th, so about a month ago. He's listening to shows that are about 3 years old, I believe. He's going to hear this podcast, episode 241, sometime, I don't know, next year maybe, depending on how fast he's going. I did not buy Medieval Madness. I changed my mind. We're still doing them, sort of, something. I don't know. I just thought that email was great. That was fantastic stuff. I like the Medieval Madness remake. I've played a bunch of them. I think they're really a cool product. I would own one. They're expensive, but I think they're great. So yeah, the old shows, man. There's some issue. I know I've had like 3 or 4 emails recently that episode 1 and 2 don't show up in the feeds. I don't know why that is, and I will probably just go re-upload episode 1 and 2 in the current feed at some point. I can't listen to them. I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. But I know some people do want to hear those that are new to the show. So we'll do that. Anyway, I thought that email was awesome. Thank you very much, Pat. I have this other email, and it's really long and gets into some specifics that I don't want to get into. It's from Dion. So I wrote a note here and just said Dion's email. Oh, see, I'm back looking at the wrong one. I'm back looking at my Houdini notes. Hang on. Hold, please. Hold, please. Where is it? Basically, in a nutshell, this is all, my own words here. He basically asked, he or she, Dion? Is Dion a boy or a girl? I don't know. Dion asked, do you feel the pinball scene has gotten too toxic for its own good? Basically, that was the summation of... Is summation even a word, Bowen? Is it? I don't know. Basically, do I feel that there was a bunch of examples of horrible things that were said on either pinball forums or in leagues or this or that, or discrimination here, or just bad stuff and like posts of, overtly sexualized photos here, they blah, 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 all this stuff. Do I think pinball as a community has gotten too toxic? And I thought about that tonight. And I thought, no, I don't think pinball as a community is too toxic. But what I think has happened with pinball, and it's an interesting dynamic, because pinball, when a lot of people who were listening to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this show, pinball was something that was kind of for dorks. And by dorks, I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as like outsiders, as people who were, maybe not in the mainstream. It was kind of an outlying thing in the, first part of this century, in the 2000s. In 2007, pinball was not like it is now, right? I think we can all agree with that. I wasn't following pinball. I loved pinball since a kid, but I wasn't following pinball back then. But in, 2010, 11, 12, 13, it started growing, and that growth attracted a bunch of new people. You had the collector market have a big resurgence. Then you had these local scenes pop up, and you had just speculators who were just trying to make a dime off of the games, and you had people who want to put on shows, and you had the creatives that came in and said, I want to do art, or I want to do videos, or you had people like me who just, God, I wanted to do something around pinball. I just thought about it all day long. I literally remember having dreams about buying an AC/DC machine before I ever bought a game. I wanted to buy an AC/DC. No, it couldn't have been AC/DC. Maybe it was not before I bought a game. It was before I ever had a game with drop targets. That's what it was. I just remember having like a dream all night long about having the game and just hitting drop targets, because I wanted a game with drop targets so bad. And I think I went out and got a Tales from the Crypt after that because it had drop targets. I don't know. I just remember being obsessed with the idea of having a game with drop targets in my house. I mean, that's a very small thing to obsess about, but I really did obsess about it. And I wanted so badly to do something in pinball, and I wasn't that great of a player, so I wasn't going to go like win a tournament. I played a lot, but I like talking. I got a big mouth. I can run my mouth for half an hour, and I was through all the pinball podcasts, so I thought I'd make my own because I wanted to do something for it. And we've had a lot of people do that, and it's awesome, and it's grown. You've had people open businesses and change their lives just because of pinball. I mean, lots of people. I know lots of people who've put their life savings into a business centered around pinball, because it's freaking magical, right? Come on. So it's grown and attracted. So to me, it's not that the pinball scene has grown toxic necessarily. It's that the pinball scene is no longer this little ball of a community where it's a lot of people who are all kind of similar in their interests, in their personality types. And not everyone's the same. And I'm not saying in '08 everyone was a clone of each other. That's not what I'm saying. But it was a much more closely knit. It attracted more of the same crowd type of situation because it was just small. It was a lot smaller. And over time, as it's grown, you get people who are attracted to it for all sorts of different reasons. And sometimes it's not even like, it might be, we all might like the same things about pinball itself, like the actual hitting balls with flippers and all that, but it's like, how do you get to that? Like, who brought you there? What brought you there? How did you get in front of a game in 2018 and go, I'm going to put money in this and I'm going to try and figure out what's happening under this glass? So as that's gotten bigger, more people have gotten here from different walks of life, different socioeconomic classes, different races, certainly different communities. All these different people are in it, so it's just way bigger, and it's a lot more people. And obviously, the biggest booms in the United States. The United States, let me tell you, someone not living in the United States right now, I can tell you, the United States is so diverse. Like, oh my gosh, it's so diverse. It's amazing how many different types of people and cultures and races and thoughtfulness and not thoughtfulness and people with ideas. It's so diverse. So if you have an explosion of a thing like pinball and the hobby of pinball and collecting and playing and being around pinball explode in this place with this giant diverse population, 350, 60 million people, whatever it is, of just all these different people, pinball just got really diverse. And so with that, you brought in some toxic people. Because in any big population, there's some jerks. There's some bad people. There's some people whose day is made better by making your day worse. That's going to happen. And so you got some of that. And if you're viewing anything, trust me, it's anything. Guitars. I read guitar message boards. It's the same thing. You're gonna see that, and because those people they want the attention. They want to, they're compensating. They don't feel good about themselves. So by being a jerk on the internet, or by shocking on the internet, or by doing something to somebody in person or whatever, it fills some sad void for them. And unfortunately, as pinball got really big, some of those people came in, and that's just how it's going to be. The sum of it all is good because it makes it stronger. It's bigger. It's better. Pinball's going to grow. We're going to see new, exciting developments and creativity and things like that. So it's really, really, truly is a good thing. But there's downsides, and that's some of the downsides. So I don't think pinball got toxic. I just think pinball got big. And with that bigness, and some people really used pinball as like a safety blanket. Like, this is my thing. I don't really have a thing. I don't even have a lot of friends. I don't feel comfortable going to sports bars. It's not my thing. I don't feel comfortable sitting in the library all day. It's not my thing. It's lame. I don't want to go to big loud rock shows anymore. It's not my thing. I don't want to, race my motorcycles anymore. It's not my thing. I'm going to go play pinball with my buddies. That's my thing. That's what I do. And they identified. I'm a pinball player. I play pinball. But then there's these other people here, and some of those people aren't like them, and thus the story of the world, right? So I thought about that a lot tonight, how big pinball is now, and it's for the better. I really, truly believe that it's for the better. The more diverse it is, the better. I think it's good for us. That's really good for us. It's great that even the simplest, like, obvious things, like, Pinburg last year being over, I think, a third of the field was female. That's such a good thing. Like, that's really a good thing. So all those things where we see a more diverse pinball populace, I believe, is a good thing. And the community will have to adapt, and we'll have to self-police, and there'll be things that the community will accept and not accept, and we'll have disagreements, and we won't like certain things, but that's okay. That's just the way the world works. I gotta go. I'm done. That's no more. I feel like I'm just, I don't know. I feel like I'm on a after-school TV special talking my face off sometimes. Anyway, I don't know when we'll talk again. Hopefully sooner than later. I do still have a really cool project I'm working on, and it's taken some time to get there. But when it gets there, it's going to be really awesome, and you'll hear from me about it. But anyway, until then, we're going to sign off without. I don't have any music on anything. It's going to be really just kind of just a cold ending. Raymond Davidson, you're a champ. Karen Kaiser, you're a champ. Zach Sabre Jr., you're a champ. And Adam Becker, you're a champ. So until next time, play more pinball, take care of yourselves, and be nice to each other. Later.